Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm so glad to have you here with me because
Thanks for having me.
when we met doing that TV show, I just loved you. I just thought...
You was a vibe as well.
So are you.
You had bare stories that made me realise that I was a really good... What was the one where you went through the roof and then you...
Oh my God, yes, I
and
forgot
you-
I told that
and
story.
you called your mum on
Mother's Day. You
Yeah.
have such a good memory.
Thanks.
You have such a good memory.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'd
No, but I'm
fallen
not-
off a
that's-
roof.
Yeah, and... we didn't-
No, it's more that was such a traumatic
that
story.
was- didn't something go through your leg or...
I broke my front teeth. And also, if I'd have fallen off the other way, I would have fallen off a 5-story building. But luckily, I fell 1 story onto the balcony below. Face met a wall. Mother's Day. Call my mum like I'm at the Royal Free Hospital. Could you come and get me?
Sending the shivers down my legs. You know, when it makes your legs go all jelly-like.
I know, I know. But you were just such a good teenager. You were so good.
So boring.
Yeah, but you were well behaved.
I wish I rebelled a bit.
Did you
more.
ever party when you were a teenager?
Not really. It was more when I got older, like in my 20s,
how old? Okay.
21. That's when I kind of went off the rails, if you want to call it, but not really. But that would have been the equivalent.
Is that because because you grew up in the church? You grew up going to church.
I grew up in the church, but I genuinely I really enjoyed going to church. Like, my church was a really fun place to go to. The environment was really cool. And then I got my heart broken.
Oh.
And then that's when I was just like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And,
Did he go to the same church? Was that
it
because
was
you
in
didn't
the same
you didn't want to see him?
He was at the same church, but he was in the same,
Yeah.
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 So it was, yeah. And then I just enjoyed having sex. And I was like, I don't want to really stop now. And God will punish me. You're not supposed to.
Before that, had you had sex?
No, I lost my virginity quite late.
Right.
Later. I lost it at 20.
So, because that is before that, you were no sex before marriage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just no sex before marriage. And I really thought I was going to make it to the no sex before marriage, because I really was like, oh my God, this is the love of my life. Da, 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 da. He loves me. I love him. It's going to be amazing. And then it didn't. It didn't happen. But I'm really happy, actually, that it happened like that, because I think that if it didn't, I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. Maybe I'd be like a preacher's wife or something, like women's wellness, come to God
But
type
you
of
strike
person.
me as someone who's just always been the way that you are. As in always been very speak your mind and say it how it
definitely. Yeah, I
is.
have.
Were you always like that as a teenager?
100%. I was always, my mum was always like, you always want to get the last word in. You always feel like you have to, at school, they was like, know when to not, you always have to have the last say. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I fucking believe I do. I'm going to get that last word in.
That is so me.
Yeah, literally. So I've always been like that, but I just think I probably would have been outspoken, but maybe in a Christian way. So I probably would have been still this, but the message would have been a bit more godly and maybe a bit more, less swearing.
Yeah.
Less talking about, more
sex
and all that
men,
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I still think I would be speaking my opinion and sharing something for sure.
But your life basically took a bit of a gear change in your early 20s.
Yeah, in my early 20s.
And that's when you started going out and partying.
Going out. And then I lived in LA for a little while as well.
I didn't know that.
7 months to when
wow, that's quite a long time to do in LA.
Because I was trying to do acting. That's when I was really trying the acting thing. So I was like, yeah, okay. I went to LA for 7 months. And
how did you find that?
I liked it. LA though, you have to do in dribs
Small
and drabs,
doses.
because
7 months is a long stint.
You can get lost in the sauce there, 110%. I don't think I had enough money to get lost in the sauce, if that makes sense. And I don't think I had enough connections to get lost in the sauce, if that makes sense. I think if I went there now,
you would get lost in the sauce.
There's a possibility that you
there's
could.
a chance of that.
Yeah.
Because also, if you went there now, it's maybe the same as me, that you'd get wrapped up in the world of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I worry that I would get a bit oh my God, I'm meeting all of these cool famous people, and maybe I'm gonna get with a really famous man. So then I just get sucked into it a bit.
What's your ideal famous man?
Oh, I've got such a wide range.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Who's my ideal famous man, Tyler?
What's the range ranging from?
Well, okay, let me think about this. Why don't you say yours while I think about mine?
I literally, who would be my ideal?
Have you ever dated someone in the public eye?
Yeah.
I think having done it now, I actually don't want to do it.
Yeah,
so now when I'm thinking about it, I think of people and I'm like, I don't think I'd want to be with someone that famous. It would fuck me up.
I literally, you were saying that, that's literally my thought process. Because I think once you've dated somebody and you feel it and you understand it, you're just like, it's too much. And then if you go even like mad famous, then that's just everyone's in your business.
Well, also, I think I'd feel deeply insecure all the time.
And then also, who was his ex before you? Because everyone is going to compare you to the ex. Oh, downgrade. That's my worst thing of going in the comments and people going, downgrade. Is that what he's gone for now? Oh,
but also
God,
the DMs that they're getting and like the way that people, because I don't know, do people slide into your DMs?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Not
Same.
like
Me as well, not to brag. Not just you, Zeze, actually. People slide into my DMs too.
But not like, well, you mean like famous people?
Yeah, but also, yes,
like,
no. But also, I'm really interested in the fact that people think that it's only men who like get all this attention on like there's this idea, especially like in comedy, there's this idea that only like male comics get with like fans and stuff. I think the difference is that men are happy with getting with a fan because they're fine with that weird imbalance of power.
Right, yeah.
But I would feel really uncomfortable doing that.
Because they see it as a flex. It's like, oh, but also the reason why is because I think culturally in society, it's okay for men to quote unquote date down, if that makes sense, as in like somebody that is, like you saying, like a fan. Whereas women, we get looked down on if we don't date up. Like if we don't date someone that's 6 figures, got this, that, then it's like, oh, you know, if we was to date the guy that worked locally, who would treat us really nice and whatever, people are like, oh, is that what you've gone for? So there's this weird thing.
And I also think, this is what I really want to talk to you about, and we will talk about parties in a bit, which is the theme of the podcast, but is because when you become, like, you and I have a similar vibe of like, I'm sure a lot of men feel maybe not like emasculated by us, but maybe a little bit like, oh, I don't really know where to place her or how to place her.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Then you get into a situation in your head where you're like, I have to date an equal or someone above to sort of prove myself.
Literally that.
I feel like it's a really complicated time to be in positions that we are in.
100%, because even like the traditional thing of men being the provider and all this and whatever, that's all gone out of the window anyway, because women are earning a lot more than men at the well, I know black women definitely are earning a lot more than black men, like when you look at stats and stuff like that. So even if you wanted to be traditional, you can't even be traditional anymore because technically we're doing better than them. So it's like, yeah, you're now confused that, okay, I want to go for this 1% guy, the 1%, but everyone's going after this 1%.
And that 1% guy, that's the problem. And then they
are trash.
Because they can get with way more people than we can.
Literally.
But then equally, when I've dated people who earn less than me or who like haven't got the same things going in their career, that's also really bad because then they can't handle it.
And they feel...
So I just don't know where to go.
They always feel like inferiority all the time. And you can feel it. Like after a while, you can actually feel it. You can feel they start having this like weird like bitterness towards you or resentment. And then what I've also found is...
And then they cheat.
That, or they try to literally like break you down. Like mentally, you start... Like I was dating one guy and I was thinking like when you approached me on like, oh, I think you're so dope, you're this, you're that. Like 6 months into dating, I was like, you don't even tell me that I look nice anymore. Like, you don't even like give me compliments. You don't even...
But do you think that's because he felt you get so much external validation, which he's probably jealous of? I think there's this thing that then happens where they feel, oh, well, she's getting so much attention, so I don't need to give it to her, or I'm jealous of that attention.
Whatever.
So I want to make her know that like I don't think those things.
Yeah, and
because I've had that with relationships where the sort of like celebration of me and my successes just starts to dwindle. Like after literally the first 3 times of meeting them. Once I'm obsessed with them, they never say anything. They never say you look nice. They never say, oh, well done on that thing that you've done.
Yeah. And I always, I'm like, I have to tell people how I feel. Like if I'm dating you, I will say, oh, you know, and then they try to make you feel bad for saying it. As if now you're insecure. Well, sorry, like, what do you mean? Do I have to tell you look nice every day? And it's like, well, not every day, but I definitely know before you got comfortable and before you was outside of the club, trying to get in the club, you was giving me all the compliments in the world. And now you're inside the club, literally.
I know, but
nothing.
I've had this twice with two men where after a while, once they can see that I'm like completely obsessed with them, they stop watching my Instagram stories, right?
That is the
Which sounds
worst.
psychotic that like I care about that. But it is quite weird because it's like there must be something about watching what I'm doing that bugs them out.
And also the fact that they
So they've muted me
or,
while dating me.
Do you know what really...
That's so weird.
That's horrible. Do you know what pisses me off though? When you know that they went onto the first story and then they cut off. That is the worst. You're like, ouch.
Ouch.
You really are going out. You are actively going out of your way not to look at any of my stuff.
But see, that makes me then, I think it's mind games. 100%. I think it's just complete mind fuckery. It's like a way to be like, you're not that important to me. You're not that special. But
I'm going to call you later.
But I'm going to not let you like break up with me, which is what keeps happening to me. It's like something's not working, but men just don't let me leave.
Oh, do they not?
No.
Oh, wow. You must like...
No, I don't even think it's that. I think they're just so scared about what I'm going to say about them in my stand-up that they want to be on good terms with me. I honestly think such power I have because I talk so openly in my stand-up.
That's what guys always think about me. They always think I'm good at... And I always say this to guys. I say to them, who was the last person that I've dated? You don't know, because I'd never speak about that. Or I do speak, but I never name names. I'll never even drop clues. I'll be like, I was speaking to the one guy and no one will know who this guy is. Only the guy and his mates and my mates I know who I'm talking about. But I never ever like come online and be like, oh, this happened, that happened. Because God forbid, I can't embarrass myself like that.
No, because it's a bad look. That's what I always say to men. It's like I've just had this thing with a guy who's like a bit, and you know, he was definitely very conscious of what I was going to say. And I said, like, as much as I would like to publicly shame you, it's just makes me look really embarrassed.
And we always, no matter how, even if the guy has done something really bad or made you feel shit, we always will look like the bitter one coming out. So like you said, I always say that to him. I say, no matter what's happened, obviously if it's something horrible, then speak up. But if it's like, oh, he cheated on you and all these type of things, babe, keep that shit to yourself. Because all that's going to happen as well, you're just going to, now no one's going to want to come near you because they're always going to think. So you're shooting yourself in the foot twice. You're embarrassing him, but really you're trying to embarrass him, but you're embarrassing yourself. And now everyone's just going to not want to come near you. So now he's won, like technically, because no one's going to want to.
I know, but I still think people don't really want to come near me anyway because of the fact that I talk about it full stop.
Affairs, probably.
Yeah.
But then who cares?
Well, exactly. But I think it's just like keep it vague. Anyway, let's go to
100%.
partying and then we'll come back to talking about our love lives. Okay, you actually went out last night.
I did.
You went to a club.
I went to the club.
You went to a club?
Like a proper
When was the last
club.
time before last night that you'd gone to a club?
Like, I can't remember, like an actual, because I'll go to events that could be in a club, like a private event.
Yeah.
We'll go, but I mean like when you go to, and you
When you
actually
go,
went, I can't even remember.
You had a table.
We had a table.
Wow.
They brought out bottles, like sparklers and stuff like
God, I love that.
It was like a vibe. It was a lot of things, but I regretted it this morning, I'm not going to lie.
Well, as she says on a glass of Prosecco.
Literally.
What's your vibe like now with parties? Do you go to a lot of industry parties, would you say, more than like partying for fun?
Yeah, and I was saying this the other day, I think you can get a bit confused because you go to a lot of events that are social, but it's still work. So then you kind of get mixed up with like, oh, I'm going out, but you're not really going out, you're still working. So I'm trying to, like separate actually going out and then work events going out, if that makes sense.
Do you ever say, I definitely used to do this when I was younger, like go to an industry party, but then think I'm just at a party and then end up getting really fucked. And then I'm like, oh, that was really embarrassing because I was really drunk in front of all those people.
So I don't like getting drunk that much.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't like it. I feel
that's
horrible.
Good.
Yeah, like.
And you're conscious of it.
Yeah, I know when to stop. I'll be like, oh, I can feel myself going.
Oh, give me some of that.
No, but it's because I genuinely just hate the feeling of being drunk.
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling of like, oh, I feel like I'm going to be sick. I feel like it just ruins my whole night. I prefer to. So I'll just have a sip.
And then you'll just be like, okay, I'm going to stop for a bit.
I'll stop for a bit, then I'll have a little bit of water.
Do you get like social anxiety when you go to parties? Do you ever get nervous?
Sometimes it depends, like where I'm going, if I'm going on my own. Because I go to quite a lot of the things on my own now. Because sometimes you just don't, I can't bother to ask somebody.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just want to go for like half an hour. I want to go in and out. I don't want to drag someone along and then
and then you're just talking to people that they don't know.
Right, exactly.
Like, yeah.
And I found it's quite good for networking. Like when you go on your own, you actually then work the room, you speak to somebody, you talk to people that you normally wouldn't. But yeah, I do sometimes. But then what I do, I just stand in the corner.
Do you? That's
Stand in the corner, get my phone out. Or
honestly, I always think, what do people do before phones when they were like waiting for someone in
like
public?
literally just stand there like.
But that's so embarrassing.
I
It's
know.
like, when I'm waiting for someone in a pub, I'm like, yes, so busy. Everybody's trying to talk to me. Are you like, are you late to parties? Are you early? Have you got like good party etiquette? I have very bad party. I'm very late. A lot.
I try to get there maybe like an hour in, hour and a half.
That's the perfect sweet spot.
Yesterday, I went to a dinner yesterday actually as well. And the dinner was supposed to start at 9. We didn't start eating till 10:30.
Wow.
Because everyone was just like, yeah, well, I knew when I saw the 9 o'clock time that everyone was probably going to get there at like 10. But for some strange reason, I got there at 9:20. I don't know why.
But did you have a snack before? Were you hungry?
I was the first one there, Grace. Can you believe that? Have you ever been the first person to
No,
the party?
no.
I was the first person.
No.
Like they were still like everyone like the people.
They were still setting up.
They was all set up, but you know when they were just like all just like hanging around, just waiting for people to come. And then when I came, I was even talking about the social anxiety because I've been to this place before, so I know like they have the private dining downstairs. So I was already psyched myself out in my head, like, okay, when I get there, there's probably going to be people there. I'm going to have to walk down the stairs. They might be looking because they might have started the dinner already.
See, this is the kind of stuff that I really think about.
And I'm like, okay, so when I get there, like, they just walk down the stairs, it'll be fine. Like, once you get down, you'll see somebody. I like psyched myself out. I walked down the stairs and there was no one there.
You're in the wrong place.
I was just me. And I was like,
wrong date, wrong time.
I was like, oh, am I early? They were like, not early. You're actually on time. I was like, yeah, early.
Do you, because, okay, so one of my big causes of social anxiety is like thinking, because I have such an anxious brain, when I go somewhere, I think I'm either going to bump into like someone I don't like or like an ex, right? That's how I imagine, I prepare for every event thinking I'm going to bump into an ex or like an enemy, basically. So and just look good enough so that like if either of those things happen, you look good. Do you think like that? Do you sort of like, or say if you've had like an argument with someone, will you then worry that they're going to be somewhere, or do you just like not really think about it?
That's so funny. Going back to the event that I was at yesterday, there actually was somebody that I don't talk to, and it was actually good. Maybe it was God that got me there early. So I got there early, and I was like, "Oh, where am I sitting?" And I looked at the placement mats, and I said, "Oh," they put me next to I said, "Oh, I don't talk to this person. Can we shuffle it around?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." So.
That is a real, okay, Jamila's told me this word called pronoia. Have you heard of the word pronoia? Okay, so Jamila's like grilling this in my brain, but it's like the opposite of paranoia. So like when something happens or something happening, you think this is all like in the plan, basically.
Oh, okay.
So like pronoia, the pronoia of you being early is that you got to move.
Yeah,
imagine if you'd have been late.
I know, and then I would have been like there and I'd been like, oh, this is annoying. But yeah, I was like, oh, this is not gonna. But I'm also very good at, I might not like you, but I just won't fuck with you. I just won't say hi, but I'm not going to make it awkward. I'll just act like you don't exist.
Yes.
But not in a bad way, not in a like mean girl way. I just genuinely will act like I can't see you. But
the thing is, I'm trying to think, Tyler, what am I like with people because I have so many people that I don't like just dotted around London from like living here for 30 years. But I think I find it so uncomfortable. Like actually, I bumped into someone recently at a party who hates me. I don't really care about them, but they hate me for a really long story, which I don't think was really my fault. But anyway. And so I was like, do you know what? I'm going to be like a grown up. I've just turned 30. I'm going to be like a grown up. So I went over to them and I was like, hi. And she just looked right through me. Like I didn't exist. So I just started laughing because I was like, oh my God, like I didn't think that would happen. I thut she would say hi back.
Right.
She looked straight through me.
She stood 10 toes. She stood on
yeah.
business. She said,
straight through me. And I just laughed. And I was like, okay. I found it so funny.
Did you
like,
not feel
funny.
Did your heart like dip a little bit?
No, I was quite drunk and on mushrooms. So I was like, this is one of the funniest moments of my life. The next day I was like, whoa, that was really like took some gumption from her because when I was younger, I used to be a very, very very like argumentative person, and this was when I knew this person from. Like, I used to get in a lot of physical fights.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Now I'm evolved. Yeah, you've probably heard all of those stories.
I remember you saying. I'm telling you, Grace, I want to be Grace when she was younger now.
No, you don't.
Like just getting into just like
you don't.
I wish I had a little bit of like the chaoticness in my teenage years.
Yeah, but I feel like you've had some like fun in your 20s.
I did. I had loads of fun.
Yeah,
I wanted to maybe fall off a roof. That was really fun.
No, but
so got stories to tell. But
that is true.
The girl that
the stories. No, but I'm saying that I'm like that's maybe the best way to deal with it is to just say like I'm just not going to acknowledge.
Yeah, it's because for me, but you have to really do something where I'm like, okay, I don't want to mess with that person anymore, and I just don't want to. My thing is, I can't pretend to like you, or I'm not going to say hi and be like, hi. And I know me and you don't really like each other. I'd rather just be cordial, ignoring each other. A cordial ignoring.
Yeah, and a mutual ignoring.
Just like it is with grown-ups. I'm very much of the belief that you're not going to like everyone. Everyone's not going to be a mate. You're not going to be cool with everyone, but it doesn't mean you have to fight them or argue with them. It's just you coexist and you move on, and that's how it is.
It's a very mature, secure, level-headed way to think.
Thank you, Grace.
That's what I want. I want that.
But you said that
I've definitely gotten a lot better at it, and now now I'm just some of these fights are literally from when I was a teenager. Like I don't care about these things anymore. They were about men that like are all bald and ugly now. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't believe that I'm still arguing with people about this. But I just think that I definitely, going into my 30s, would like just to be always very dignified, which I feel like you are. And I feel like you deal with things. And it's the same with when you went on Big Brother. Like you were very like calm and collected.
This is so interesting though, because I know, I think as I've got older, I know things that trigger me. I know things that are going to make me get really annoyed. Because I am quite quick to like, I can go quite quickly, like get really annoyed, or something will come out my mouth that shouldn't come out my mouth. So I've, over time, like you're saying, I've learned what I always say this, like if I probably had another 2 days in Big Brother, oh God, who knows what would have happened.
Do you think? Were you really getting to the point of like...
Yeah, I was getting to the point of like, you know yourself. And it's a high pressure environment.
I just don't know how you did it, to be honest.
It's a high pressure environment.
I can't, sleep in a bed with anyone. So sleeping in a room with that many people.
But the thing
how did you sleep?
The room was so big though, so you didn't ever feel, the room was humongous.
But were people snoring?
We made sure our side was not the snorer side.
Right.
David made sure that our side was non-snorer. The other side was, I think, who snored a lot? No one really snored that loud, to be fair, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, towards the end, I could feel myself like, oh yeah, it was, because you're constantly switched on and you're constantly...
How much were you conscious of the fact that you were being filmed?
Oh, I knew all the time.
Really?
I don't know how people say they forget the cameras are there.
I would forget. Because I went into the house before you all went in, and I was there for like 2 hours, and I completely forgot that there were cameras everywhere.
Did you? I saw them shits moving all the time. I think though it's different though.
Yeah, because I
think
you know.
Yeah, because when I think because you're constantly being... You're like, it's happening.
That is so tiring.
That's what I mean. That's what it was towards the end. It was like, because I was constantly switched on and like, okay. And then there were obviously moments, don't get me wrong, you're not, I wasn't like constantly like, oh my God, the cameras, but you're aware. But like I said, before I went in, my friends were like, very worried about me going on, because we've seen like a lot of black women go on these shows and they kind of never ends well for them, or they're not represented in the best way. So a lot of my friends were like, are you sure? Like, what's going to And they was like, make sure you don't do this, don't do that. Like just the pep talk. And I said, to be honest with you, every day as a black woman, when I leave my house, I think about how I speak, how I come across, because I know it might come out, somebody might take it the wrong way, or because I was a bit stern now, I've got attitude problem. Like all of these things I constantly think about on a daily basis.
Well, and you've also had to go through this for years.
Right, yeah, exactly.
In such a public way.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, it was not that much different apart from obviously the cameras being, and then you just have to hope that you're perceived in the right way. But yeah,
Which you were.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I had. It was such a good experience.
So fucking intense.
It was intense, but it was I'm telling you, one of the best experiences ever. Like, I'm so glad I did it. And also, it was a challenge for myself. I think when I went in there, they said to you, like, what's the main reason why you're going in there? I said, you know what? I kind of just want to know if I'm actually like a nice person, because because forget everything else. I just want to know, because I think we all think we're nice, or we all think we're cool, or, oh, I'm really kind, but we're kind to people that we know, and like when we're in situations that we can control and navigate. But when you're put into a situation that you can't navigate and you can't control, with people that you don't actually know, are you actually a nice person? Like, are you as empathetic as you think you are? Are you as understanding? Are you as kind when you're not around your friends? Or are you as emotionally intelligent as you think you are? Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm mad emotionally. I'm so intelligent when it comes to that. But when you're put in an environment, are you as quick as you think you are? Are you as open to as you think you are, you know?
Do you think that, because I'm so like interested in how, because you've been perceived in so many ways, like in the years that I've known who you are, do you think, because I've definitely had this in a different way, where whenever I get shit, it makes me think that I am maybe a bad person. Is there a part of you that's like internalized some of the stuff that like people have said about you online, and then you feel like you have something to prove? Like, is there a part of it that's that?
Probably a little bit of that. But it's definitely to do with the fact that I know people online think I'm this like bitch all the time, and I'm so I think that was one of the main reasons as well. It was to kind of be, to show, no, yeah, I'm extremely opinionated. Yeah, I'm loud sometimes. I speak my mind, etc. But I'm also very chill. I'm very
nice and very kind.
Thank you.
When I met you, I was like, oh my God, I loved you so much. Like,
oh, thanks.
You just have such a nice energy.
Oh, thank you, Grace. So do you. Thanks. We said at the same time. I said thanks at the same time. But that was my thing. It was like, people that meet me, like you're saying, they will say that, but oh my God, you're so cool. And I said, you know what? I would love people to be able to see that if I get to stay in there long enough, because obviously that is that as well. You have to be able to stay in there long enough, kind of to show your journey. If you get the chance to do that, if you go out in week 1, that's why when I was in the Fire of Pit or whatever the fuck that was called, I was like, for fuck's sakes, didn't even get bloody week in here.
Yeah.
Knew that. I was like, gosh. And I said that to my friend. I said, if I get to stay in there long enough, I should be okay. People get to see my personality. If I don't, then it is what it is. And I was always ready for both, if that makes sense, because I just know how. I've watched reality all my life. Like, I've grown up watching Big Brother, Celebrity One, The Normal One. I love reality TV. That's me. So I kind of know how these things go. So I was prepared for it.
And your friends, because it's like, I think if I was ever going to do, because I was actually asked to do the same season as you, but I was having an abortion, and I was like, there is no way that I could handle being filmed right now. Mirror. But my friends were worried about me because of my anxiety. Like, I'm really bad if I'm around people for 4 hours, let alone like weeks.
Yeah.
But are your friends in general, are they your kind of like litmus test of like, do you ask them a lot, like, should I do this, or what do you think
I've got
of
like
this?
a few, like my cousin, she's definitely like a soundboard. I will say to her, what do you think? What do you think about this? And my managers as well, I take on what they say a lot. I will ask their opinion. I'll be like, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good idea? But if I want to do something, I'll do it as well. So yeah, I'd kind of, my mum as well, I'll say, I don't really
How did she find you being on Big Brother? Was she really nervous?
She was nervous. I think she was very nervous, like me going in. And then when I came out, she was very happy with me. She's very happy. And I think that was my main thing as well. It was like, as long as my mum was happy with how I came across, like my friends and my family, that's kind of, and also black women as well. Like a lot of black women, even to this day, like they will come in my DMs, or when I see them out on the street, they will say like, thanks for portraying us in a really like nice, positive light. And that was what warmed my heart the most, was all the DMs that I got. And that was one of the main things. It was kind of like, I cannot go on and embarrass black women. And I know that is such a big thing to put on,
heavy
thing, but
role.
there's not. Like this Big Brother, they did a really good job. They had 2 black women, which was me and Marisha, and usually that doesn't happen. It's usually like one, and that's it, and figure it out yourself type of thing. So there was a range. You got to see a range. And I always say that, you know, when stuff like Love Island, there's a range of white women. So you get to see different types of white women. There might be like this Love Island, we've got Jess who tells everyone how she feels. And then you got someone else that, do you know what I mean? Whereas there might be just one black woman and now she has to be the representation of all black women. I always say this to black women. I said, unfortunately, when we do go on these reality shows, because there's not loads of us on there, you are kind of like holding the flag for black women, which is a lot of pressure. But
It's a lot. That is so much pressure,
It is
man.
a lot of pressure, but it's just the reality.
Yeah,
of it.
and also it's one of those things that because you're so conscious of it, you are gonna think about
Right,
it.
yeah,
That's not gonna just leave your
Yeah,
mind. It's
exactly,
like, you watch Real
yeah.
Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I do a little
So
bit.
like
yeah.
Garcelle, like often I'm watching Garcelle and I'm like, God, this must be so long for you because you've got all of these absolutely insane white women.
Yeah,
being
yeah,
shown with,
yeah.
like, fucking mad lights, and then she's constantly being put under the
Yeah,
maddest scrutiny.
yeah.
And it's like you're with Erica Jane, who's like basically a criminal. Like,
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you're
and- yeah.
constantly just like, and you know that. And I, like, again, I watch all of these. I watch all the Housewives. So you know, like, you know. And like, even before, like when I went in, obviously when I came out, I read some of the comments. But literally before they had even heard me speak, some people on socials were like, oh, here we go, and now Vanilla. And it's like, you don't, first of all, what's the...
Sorry, that's mad.
I know, like
That's
literally,
mad.
they hadn't even heard me speak. They had whatever perception they had of Nella on
On
a
Celeb.
celeb. They now had, and it's like we're two separate people. Like we're two different people, and you're literally just going off of it because of the color of my skin. Like nothing to do with anything else. Like you don't know. Neither of us actually. Do you know what I mean? You don't know any of
Also,
us
that
properly.
would just never happen if it
Right,
was two white women. It
right.
would just never happen.
This is what I'm saying.
If
You
it
never
was like,
right.
yeah, it would. That just would never.
So,
ever happen.
and then you have to obviously like break down that perception and then build up a new one.
And when you were inside the house, like how sort of much with your relationships with other people in the house, because I know that like Louis was
Louis was something else. That
a big old it. He was really weird in it. I'm sorry. He was like, whenever I'd watch it, his face was fucking bugging me out, man. I don't know how you like look at
The thing
him all
with
the
Louis
time.
is like we had this like really hate is even a strong word, but this love dislike relationship where we would
with the sort of what, like passive aggressive. It's
yeah,
like
but then sometimes we'd have these really like nice conversations. You know, there's times when I was talking to her about my gran, and we'd have like really nice conversations about that, even just about music or just life, all these type of things. I think with him, he's like that old school generation where they can say whatever they want to say, and he still hasn't learned that he can't say what he's not supposed to say out loud, you know. And that was always funny as well, because he was definitely one of the people that forgot the cameras were on. We would have like 20-minute conversations with Louis, and he'd be like, they're not going to show that. They're not recording. And we're like, Louis, they're recording everything.
yeah, and also you have to act as though everything's being shown. That's the thing. I think that's
where a lot of people also go wrong. They think they know.
There's gonna be tiny little
I think
snippets.
he thought like I didn't think that. To be fair, there was some conversations that I thought, they would never. Like, I never thought that my Cheryl Cole conversation was going to make it. Because I thought, nah, they're going to have to do too much legal. But then I realised, no, it was actually, it was out already. So there was nothing there for them to do legal.
Did you watch it back when you came out?
I watched the cop episode with me and David when we had the secret task. And then randomly about, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, one Saturday night, I couldn't get to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And I was in my bed, and I ended up watching like 3 episodes till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and then
then watching yourself with your brother is not going to help you get to sleep.
I know, and I was
It's
watching
not relaxing.
it, and then it was so funny because I had to be up for radio at 7, so I don't even know why I was doing it. I was literally in my bed like, oh, I've got to get up soon. Why
Yeah.
am I watching this? But
Why
then
don't I do something? Watch myself on a national television
I
program.
know. But it was because
Never sleep.
my friend David said to me, he was like, oh, have you watched it? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh my God, you have to watch yourself. So I watched a little bit of it back, and I understood just even like the level of production. Like when I said, oh, I understand why it was such a talking point and why everyone was so like involved, because the level of production, because obviously you're in it.
You'd have no idea
I
what
don't
they're
see
doing.
the edits. I don't see how it actually comes. And then I watched the cop one. I said, oh my God, like, the VTs, the everything, the way they'd piece the episode together. I was like, oh yeah, I would have been hooked on this as well.
Yeah. Okay, back to parties. How old are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm 34, but I'm going to be 35 in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, wow.
So yeah, basically, Jesus Christ.
Okay. So how much has your like social life changed? Have a lot of your friends like had children and like settled down, or
Do you know
no?
what? I've got quite a good mixture. I've got a few friends, like close friends that are married, kids as well. And then I've got single friends as well. Like most of my... No, I've got a good balance.
Yeah.
The girls that I speak to like every day, single. Am I? Yeah.
That's kind of what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
You evolve, don't you? It's like, because some of my best friends now, Tyler is one of my best friends, my producer, and she's like my oldest childhood friend.
Hi, Tyler.
And she's, you know, like settled in a relationship, about to have a baby.
Oh. So you're kind of...
Well, that's why we've decided to work together, because otherwise I'll never see her.
Oh, right. Makes sense.
But you have to evolve with it, because being single in your 30s, a lot of people aren't.
I know, but a lot of people are.
A lot of people are, yeah.
More than you think, actually. Struggling,
yeah.
Dating, oh God, horrible.
But also the grass is always greener, because I think that like lots of people's relationships aren't like ideal.
And no, I'm not gonna lie, like when I come online and I see, you know, all these videos about self-love and I'm so happy to be living on my own and I don't want anyone in my company, I can't relate, sorry.
But then do you feel, because you just don't strike me as someone who's gonna settle?
No, I won't settle for sure, but I will definitely compromise. I'm not like, you know...
What kind of man do you go for? Because I go for narcissist. That's why I'm still single.
I like kind men.
That's nice.
I like kind, nice men that are going to make me feel nice. And I don't have any problems with sending me good morning texts.
Okay.
I was dating a guy, and do you know what I've learned in dating? I think dating is really good as you get older, because you really learn what you're gonna compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on. And I'm very I like to talk on the phone. I'm very high maintenance when it comes to communication.
Same.
I like, if you want to text me all day, then it's fine. We can do that. Like I'm that type of person. I like to like random calls. Like, hi, how's your day? Oh my God, you never guess what happened. I'm that type of person.
Same.
And a few guys I was dating, some of them weren't really that great at it. But I'm also quite self-aware. So I know it can be a bit much for somebody, you know, like people that have lives, like actual, like,
yeah, not like us.
Yeah. You know, like people that, you know,
yeah,
like,
not like going to a club on a Thursday night.
Right, yeah, and then like
going to have a Prosecco at a podcast,
like,
just a silly little day.
Like literally, like rolling out of bed, like Jesus, like crying. So I've learned that it can be a bit much, you know, like, you know, it can be a bit overwhelming for somebody. So I've tried to balance it out for myself and whatnot. But I have met guys, you know, while I've been dating, that are just not good at communicating, or they don't like talking as much on the phone, or they don't even want to send you good morning texts and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. And I've decided I'm not compromising on those type of things.
I think that's good.
I like a communicator. If you can't communicate the way I like to communicate, I'm happy to compromise, like I said, because I do realise I can be a bit intense.
But I think as well, it's that because I'm exactly the same. I need like a base level of communication. And when I don't get that, it just makes me anxious, and then I make their life worse, because then I'm angry and upset a lot of the time.
Literally, that's
so
me.
it's just we just butt heads, because you can't give it to me.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to be angry at you because you're constantly not giving it to me.
And
so
I've started to identify it quite early on now.
That's
like,
really good.
From early. So if I was talking to one guy, I would say first date actually, I knew, and I said to him, I said, I don't think this is going to work, to be honest with you. And he's like, how do you know? I said, I could just tell before we've got to this, to like this date here, your communications, I don't like it. It's not how I like
What
to
was
be
he doing?
It's just, it was very all over the place. It was like, you know, he said he's going to call me and then he didn't call me back. But then he would call, and I knew he was interested. Like I knew it wasn't like one of those things where he wasn't interested. I could tell he was.
It's just that's the way he is.
He's just got too much going on. So he would be like, I'm going to call you back. And then it would be like 3 hours later, and then he'll call me back. And it's okay. But I was,
were we just dating the same guy? Can I
probably
ask? That is,
or most. I feel like
literally what I've just spent
literally
like 9 months.
And then the guy
through.
before that, he was like that. So I had already dealt with that and tried to kind
And
of
you just
compromise.
know, yeah.
So I had identified that behavior quite early. I was like, no. I just come out of this thing. No, I'm not going back into something like. And his thing was like, no, you just got to compromise. I said, the thing is, I don't need to compromise yet because I don't like you enough.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not attached to you yet. So while I'm not attached to you, I can clearly see that down the line, when I start liking you a lot, this level of communication is going to spiral. I'm going to start spiraling.
Exactly. And it's just not going to be healthy. That's just how relationships have really sour.
And I just like, no, I can see it from now. And he's like, no, you. And I said, no, that's just you. Like, and that's fine. Another woman will be okay with that. But for me, how I am, my issues that I've got,
same.
I don't need to be
Are
entertained.
you an anxious attachment
Apparently,
style?
yeah. Apparently, all these.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah,
Because
I'm mad anxious. Yeah, I have.
Because it's like that, and it's hard. I wish I wasn't that way. I wish I was secure, and I wish I could go like a day without hearing from someone and not worry that they're either dead or like.
But do you think if someone
hate
likes
me.
you, they would want to go a day without speaking to you? That's what I think as well.
Well, yeah, I do, because I know some of my friends are like that, and I don't think that's mad. Like some of my friends will, like one of my best friends will literally ignore her boyfriend sometimes for a bit, and just because she's busy and she doesn't want to think about it. But I don't think you're a villain when she does that.
Really?
It's just that I take it so personally.
Oh
with
yeah,
men.
me too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because if a friend ignored me for a day or like didn't check in on me for a day, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, you hate me.
This
it's
is
just
exactly
that how
it.
a man treats me is like sort of how I see myself. It's really bad.
No, and I was literally having this discussion. You watch Love Island?
No.
Oh, so there's like a couple on there called Nicole and Kieran, and she's just intense and whatever. She's clearly got anxious attachment style, and she should be
here.
Yeah, like
our
she's
gang.
been cheated on and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like she's just constant, like very intense with him. And I was saying, like, as women, it's not nice, that feeling for yourself. Forget about the guy and what he's doing, but for your actual self, when you sit in that energy, it's so horrible. So you actually have to work on yourself. It sounds so corny. I hate when people work on yourself and do that. But I literally, one time, same thing. I was trying to get hold of this guy. I couldn't get hold of him for the whole day, like literally calling him, nothing. Then I missed his call, the tried call. It was horrible. And I was just so upset. Like it ruined my whole day.
And it's distracting as well when you've got shit to do. You're like, why am I thinking about this?
But I called my cousin and I remember I was like, I think I was in tears and I said, I don't actually like this feeling for myself. Forget him and what he's doing and whether or not he should have called me back or whatever. I genuinely don't like the fact that if someone doesn't call me back, I go into some sort of mess. I've got to work. I've got to do something. So now I'm really trying to, date people. When I date people, maybe not learn that I can go like 5 hours or 6 hours.
And also because I do think
them.
The thing that I will say, and this is not in defense of people that do that, like, I don't know, like not being amazingly consistent with communication, but there is a part in both of us that like definitely I let it get to me way too much.
100%.
And that's where I have to take responsibility for that.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because like, I don't need to let it ruin my day. There is a power within me that could just
100%.
say, fuck that guy, I'm going to carry on and not think about it. Because that's what lots of other people would do.
100%. That's exactly what I've been trying. Like now, if someone, I call them, they didn't get back to me. I was like, okay, cool. And I literally tell myself, he'll call back eventually. Whenever he calls back, that's when he calls back.
I'm going to kill him. Then fuck him.
Then it is what it is. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But now I'm really practicing like, okay, well, when he calls back, he'll call back. And if it's not into my liking, like the time frame, then maybe I'll have a conversation with him and say, you know what, I feel like there's no need for you to take 7 hours to call me back. Like, that's ridiculous, But I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning though. I'm learning. But I think mine comes from my mum. I said this to her one time, I don't know if you can overly love someone, but overly like giving me attention all the time. So I'm my mum's only child. So I brought up as an only child. I got brothers from my dad, but I lived in the house with it was my mum, so I'm my only child. So she showered me with so much love and attention. Like my mum always told me that she loved me, so that's what I know to be love. So now when I meet someone and I don't get that level of like communication, I'm like, what's going on here? And also everyone else in my life, all my close people, my mum, like if I call my mum now, if my mum doesn't pick up the phone, I think something's wrong with her because my mum always picks up the phone to me. So most of my friends, they will always, and I can call them whenever I want and they're going to kind of be there. So all my immediates kind of are very reachable. So whenever I date men that are not reachable, it just doesn't work for me.
Because you need consistency. I think that's the thing that I keep saying, like with situations with men, is that I do need to compromise on I could try and control my behavior sometimes. I could try and like have that thing of they'll come back, it's fine. They could just be busy. But baseline, I don't like inconsistency. All of my friendships are very consistent. I know where I stand with all of my friends. I'm not going to suddenly be blindsided by something. And I don't like that inconsistency.
And also, you can just send me a morning text and I'll be fine. Once I've heard from you, I'm like, okay, morning, we have a little chin wag in the morning. I might not need to hear from you. I don't care if you don't message me now until you finish work, till 5 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? And we're good to go.
Oh, sorry, my phone. It's not a man, but someone's just called me. Not somebody that I want to hear from.
Are you dating Are you dating at the moment?
No, not really. No, I've just sort of like gone through a period of like really getting rid of like men who I've been recycling from the past.
The roster. You got a new roster?
I've got no roster now because I'm shedding the roster.
Okay.
Because I had so much dead weight lying around that I kept going back to and being like, well, that didn't work, so I'll go back to this. And actually I'm shedding. So no, not really. But I've told one guy if England win on Sunday that I'll have sex with him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What about you? You dating?
What kind of sex?
Just like, short-term sex.
Oh, okay.
Like if England win the Euros.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to like message him when they win?
I think we're probably watching it at the same place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what if they lose? Blowjob just to make him happy?
If they lose, no, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's his loss. It's a double loss for him because England lose and he doesn't get to have sex with me. Are you dating? When you go on, this is actually one of my questions because we've gone on such a tangent. What?
Yeah, you have to move on.
I know. Okay, really quickly. When you go on a first date, do you feel like men are intimidated by you?
Nah, because I usually... Nah.
No.
Not yet. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Later on down the line, I think
when it
they
changes.
But first date, they're still like, oh my God, you're amazing.
Yeah.
This is so great. You're this yeah. It's
They can't
amazing.
believe it. They're like, wow, I've lucked out. And then
I mean, I don't know about that.
Well,
maybe.
I would imagine so. Okay, let me ask you some questions that I've actually meant to ask you. Best ever name drop at a party, like craziest celebrity interaction you've ever had?
Oh, it's probably going to have to be Jay-Z.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where did that happen?
I went to this afters. They had a premiere for the... What was it filmed?
Was it Jay-Z and
How
Beyonce?
Did They Fall?
Uh-huh.
And it was a James Samuel film, and I went to there, and then they had an afters, and then I went to the afters, and then Jay-Z was there, and Beyonce was there as well. But I had like a little interaction with Jay-Z.
No way. What did you say?
Well, I ended up doing like hip hop karaoke to upgrade you. Beyonce's "I hear you beat the black man, I'm the lights to keep the streets
What, just
on."
to him?
So they
Like one of those people on TikTok that goes up to singing.
Oh yeah, I was No, I was singing the song and I got really into it. And then he kind of noticed that I knew all the words. So he was quite impressed that I knew all the words because he probably thought, you look quite young. How do you know this song? But I knew like all her bits, his part. And then it kind of ended up that I was like, there was a circle and then me and Jay-Z were like in the middle and I was like doing and then he like gave me a high five and I was like,
that filmed?
No.
Fuck.
Which is so annoying.
Fuck that.
The one time.
Who was there?
No, because also...
No.
At this point, like one person had got their phone out beforehand and he did that really embarrassing thing where you don't want to be that person, just went over to him and was like, we don't want to do that. And you're just like...
Yeah, that
like,
is so embarrassing.
Like, you don't want to be that person.
I remember when I was...
And he did it so politely, you know? It's even more
worse,
embarrassing.
Like, you're embarrassed.
Yeah, like, it's almost, he almost did it like...
Shamed.
He was almost like, act like you've been here before.
Yeah,
like, you know those ones that
it's not a good look.
Like, this is normal. Don't act like you've never... And I was just like, so no, I think after he did that, everyone just thought,
that's
we don't
fair, but it's just, that memory will live in your head forever.
No, but
and now whenever you tell it gets to be relived.
I know, but I wish there was video
Yeah.
proof because that... I would just have that pinned on my Instagram profile. It would just be there, pinned forever.
That is crazy. Because also that's like, he came over to you. He was impressed by you.
Well,
and then he high-fived.
We was like in the same area.
As in, it wasn't like you'd gone up to him.
No.
And just
Yeah, we
been
was
begging.
all in the same. No, it was not. Yeah, it was really, it was a really nice. It was really nice. A really nice moment.
When I was 18, I moved to Jamaica like on my own because I used to want to be a reggae tour manager. That's what I wanted to be when I was younger. And I was in a... No, I lived there for 4 months on my own.
I did. I know. I'm not shocked. That's why I'm just like, when you said it, I was just like, that's why I said, of course you do.
So I wanted to be Damian Marley's tour manager, and then Damian Marley's actual tour manager, who was this like American woman. Like, it's such a long story, but she ended up like firing me from this job because she thought I was on drugs. When I have this thing where my pupils go really dilated when I'm stimulated.
Right.
Anyway, that's not the story I was going to tell. I was in a club, so this was 2013. The London Olympics had just happened. Usain Bolt was like the guy, and I was in this club in Kingston, and he was there, and I had like, you know, like the first ever iPhone. This was like 2013, and I was like taking pictures of him in the club, and his security guard came over and was like, "Come on, like, he's just trying to have a good time." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. It's just like I love him so much. Like the London Olympics, like everybody in London loves him." And he was like, "Okay, come and meet him."
Oh wow!
So his security guard took me outside, and he was in his car. He was in his like 4x4, just like chilling. He was about to leave. I got in the passenger seat and I was just like, "Hi, like I'm really sorry I was filming you." It's just like I'm such a big fan. And then we just like spoke about London for like half an hour.
Oh my
And then I got out and I left, and I was like, that was so cool.
Oh wow, that is a cool story.
Yeah, it was a good story. Yeah. Sorry. Next question. Yeah. Okay. Tyler's getting really annoyed at me. Okay. Who would be your dream plus one? Say if you were going to, I don't know, like the Grammys. Who would be your dream plus one? And it doesn't have to be someone you know, but it can be someone you know.
Rihanna. I adore Rihanna
So much.
I think she's GOAT. Like she is so GOAT. Everything she does is so goated. Like, and I love.
But also, she just does. She's so naturally the way that she is.
Exactly.
It's so uncurated.
And I just love that she also, when she got pregnant and her and ASAP, it was so weird because obviously us girls being in our 30s, it was so nice to see. It was like, hope is a strong word, but it was a nice representation of, you know what, you don't have to be like 25 and married. And you know, like when they're famous, they always get married really young and everything seems, well, she kind of showed like, you know what, do what you need to do, ladies, enjoy your life. And then when you get older, settle down and do what you need to do. And like, there's no time limit. She makes you feel like 30s is not old because they love to make the 30s seem like it's old. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, "Oh my God, you're 35. Oh my God, you're so old."
I know, but then that's also why you then end up getting into relationships that you shouldn't be in.
Right, exactly.
Need to have a baby, like,
but I think she just shows that you're lit. Like,
I also think that with like the way that her career is now, she's just doing it for herself. It's like 100%. That thing that I was saying to you before of doing things because you want to do them, not because like other people want you to do them. Or, like, you need the external validation. She just makes career decisions on like what she wants to do.
100%, yeah. But yeah, that would be Rihanna.
Okay, and then really quickly, we were talking about how stylish you are. Do you have a stylist?
I don't.
You don't? You style yourself?
I style myself on a day-to-day. No, I don't have a stylist.
You don't have a stylist? Wow, you're so fashionable.
Thank you. For big things, sometimes if it's just too much, I will use my friend Gabby, and she's really good. She understands me because I'm quite fashionable, like you said. When I do events, my stylist needs to be someone that will just elevate it for me a little bit more.
But not come in and be like, "Hey, here's like 10 things that you would never wear."
Right, yeah. So for Mobos, me and Gabby work together. But most things I do it myself now, yeah.
Well, it's very natural.
Thank you.
What would you say if you were styling me, what would you tell me to do? Because sometimes I don't know if I always dress the best for how I look.
No, I mean, I like that you have your boobs showing because they're very nice.
I always have my boobs showing, because I lost my boobs for a while. I lost so much weight at the beginning of the year because I was so sad, and they went. And now that they're back, I'm like, I have to get them out all the time.
I've lost a lot of weight, and my boobs look kind of sad as well.
It really is the thing that, it was making me sad.
And I wouldn't mind like a bit more things happening. But no, I like the way you dress. I think you like. This is why I dressed like this today because I was like, I don't need to. I want to be like cool kid like this.
Casual.
Cool kid, yeah.
But very stylish.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And also comfort. Like you're
I'm
wearing
a
comfy
comfy-
shoes,
yes.
comfy trousers, and a comfy jacket. You're not self-conscious. The only
This
thing
is what
about
I'm
this
saying.
is that I'm constantly thinking like, oh, my boobs.
No, they haven't popped out once.
Okay, that's good.
It's fine. It's
Okay,
good.
we
I
need
like
to
this.
do.
I love a sheer top.
I know.
If I could have bare sheer tops, a sheer top is, I love it. Sheer tops, they always just look so sexy, but
Yeah.
then you can dress them down like how you've done now, or you could dress it up.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got a lot of, but the only thing is that like I sweat a lot.
And the sheer does sometimes makes, But you
yeah.
don't smell,
At,
so that's
at
fine.
Glastonbury, I wore like a. Did you go to Glastonbury?
I was there for one day.
Did you like it?
I love Glasgow. I really enjoy it. That was the second
Bit
time.
overwhelming though, isn't it?
Yeah, that was my second time I went. I only went for that. I nearly died on the way up there. Actual car that I was in, overheated. We had to pull over on the motorway. They had to call the fire brigade. They came, and then I was an hour away from Glasgow. Thank God there was like a Holiday Inn next to where we broke down.
You weren't meant to just go for a day.
No, I was, because it was a last minute thing. I managed to sort something out. So I went and I wanted to catch Scissor.
Yeah.
I wanted to catch Scissor and I wanted to catch Burner. And I also wanted to try and catch Gets as well. By the time I got onto the grounds, it was like 8 o'clock.
Oh my God, that's
I
mad.
know. But thank God I didn't,
Thank God that the car didn't explode.
at least I made it there.
Yeah.
I could have not made it, literally.
Oh, well, I actually had a terrible time, but I shouldn't talk about that on a podcast because I'm trying to perform there next year. But I thought it was too much. Too many people at Glastonbury. Too many people.
Was that, how many, have you been before?
Yeah, I've been before. But again, last time when I went, too many people. And not just too many people that I don't want to bump into.
I
That is
hate
the
that.
problem. It's like all of the exes, all of the ghosts in my past. I just kept going somewhere and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to see you. Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Right, Tyler, what do I need to do? Should we just do the civilian +1 bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? No. I've done all the questions, haven't I? Yeah? Okay. Right, so we've got this thing, which is called civilian +1,
Okay.
which is basically who I'm going to read you out things that like my followers, like crazy party stories. I'm just going to read you some out and then we can basically decide like who we would take to a party out of these people. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Okay, but some of them are fucking wild. Okay. This is fucking crazy.
Okay.
I went back to a guy's house. We were kissing in his kitchen. We go to his bedroom. His girlfriend was asleep in bed. He thought she was away. Fucking men.
So wait, did she not?
No.
She didn't know he had a girlfriend.
No.
See, this is why, ladies, you got to ask. You know.
But also, why do you have to ask?
No, I be asking all the time. I say, are you married? Have you got a girlfriend? Is there anyone that thinks she's your girlfriend? Because that is another thing as well. Like, you know, men, they love to make women believe that something's going to happen. And then the next thing you know,
And then you're getting a DM from someone being like, hello,
coming
you're
to you as a
seeing
woman.
my boyfriend.
And it's like, really? And then he's denying you. You don't know who to believe. It's too much.
That's one of my biggest fears, actually, is like getting a DM from someone being like, you've had sex with my boyfriend. And then it's like, actually, maybe I should just start specifically asking.
No,
I do background checks on like everyone I get with
do
now.
you?
Yeah, I'll like look up who knows them and I'll DM them and say, what is the vibe on this person?
Really?
Because I just like don't want to get in like... I don't want to get with anyone who's like been accused of some crazy shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like I wish there was an app that you could like, but then people would like. But it's just like I don't want to ever be seeing someone and then someone messages me and it's like that person abused my friend and like I didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
It's fair. That is a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, right? Okay, so there's that one.
Oh wow.
I know, right?
So wait, did the girlfriend wake up? What happened?
They just said it in the tiny little box, so they didn't elaborate. That is crazy though.
I would have
Okay.
been like, extend, let me know.
No, that's really mad.
Damn.
Okay, where's the wait, where is it? I went to a fancy dress birthday, dressed up as a sexy nun. The birthday girl was a very strict Catholic and her sister was actually a nun and they were all very offended.
Well, it's fancy dress. They should feel honoured.
I know.
They should be like brilliant. They should be like amazing.
I once dressed as a nun to a party, but I didn't put my hair in the thing because I wanted my hair to be out. So I sort of had it like loosely tied around. So everyone was like, you don't look like a nun. You just look like you've got a bit of like black material on your head. Okay, we'll do like two more.
You didn't commit to it fully.
No, I didn't commit to it because I love my hair. Okay. There's a really long one. Let me find it. Okay. This girl did way too much ket and asked me to go to the bathroom with her, so I did. I was peeing and she started screaming at me to move as I was midstream, so I couldn't. She flung down her trousers
And shut herself.
and shut herself in the bathtub, pulled her trousers up and left me to clean it up. This was a complete stranger. People are crazy. People are crazy.
But why are you so free like that?
But
what is
also,
going on?
How would you feel the next day about yourself if you remembered that you'd shat in front of a stranger?
But she probably it's
she
a
probably
stranger.
doesn't remember it. Yeah,
and it's
she
a
probably
stranger,
doesn't
and you
remember
never, and you're probably. I'll be thinking, well, he's never going to see me again until. What if she listens to this podcast and now she's going to be
a memory will be like triggered in her head. Yeah. Okay, Zeze, you have been an amazing guest. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're fabulous.
Thank you.
What? What is your best excuse to leave a party? Like if you want to leave a party and then you can use it to leave now.
I don't. I just exit. Like genuinely, I just literally. It's always so busy in there. I just literally. I will just
go
walk out.
No goodbyes.
Yeah, call it the digital dash.
Digital dash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Digital dash. Actually,
French exit.
Huh?
French exit.
Yeah, digital dash.
Just bye.
Quick out the door. That no one knows. And then someone texts you. I did that once and it bit me in the ass because I literally just left and I had my friend's keys in my bag. We drove all the way to South. I got in the Uber all the way back home. I live in North. He was like, "You've got my key in your bag," and he was still in South. I had to basically
go all the way back.
I left the Uber driver was like, "Do you know what? I'll go back. Like, I'll do it for you." Then I just did the return trip. So put the keys in. But yeah, that was me because I tried to do digital dash. That was punishment.
Well, that's the moral of that story. Is being
so I'll just do that now.
Drivers. Yeah. Bye.